Hey everybody, it is nostalgia time. Once again, in the last episode, we took a look at what was a pair of Acer Veriton business machines. Well, mainly those were business computers designed for professional environments. Now we're going to go back to the consumer side of Acers, and we're actually going to take a look at a pair of Acer Nitros. We have the Acer Nitro 5 and the Acer Nitro 7. The Nitro 5 was created with a third-party backup tool. However, as for the Nitro 7, a virtual machine has already been prepared for us. So that's good. So now all we just need to do is let it boot, and then we will take a look at it. And this is why I don't like running 64-bit editions of Windows on virtual machines, especially Windows 10 and 11. So here we are at the desktop, and it looks like a user had already been created for us, so we didn't even need to go through the out-of-box experience. Isn't that nice? But anyway, the first thing we see is this warning. I guess it's a warning for one of the drivers. Well, because this is not an Acer machine. And there was the network panel. So what we're looking at here is actually a Polish copy of Windows 10 Home, the Home Edition. It looks like it's one of the 19H2 editions, but we'll take a look at what it actually is. So first let's take a look at the start menu. Well, sort of the new style start menu in Windows 10. And yep, we can see the elements of Windows 7 and Windows 8 coming together. And we can see there's all the Windows 10 apps. There's the newer icons for Office. And then there is the Mail app that is actually being depreciated, as later this year Microsoft is actually going to be discontinuing both the Windows 10 Mail and Calendar apps and merging them into a new dedicated Outlook app for Windows. And in fact, the classic Outlook is actually also participating in this change. However, it will not be fully depreciated until 2029, from what I've heard. So, there's a lot of stuff here to take a look at. So, let's see. So this is going to be a bit different from those Windows 7s that we've seen many times before. So we have Acer's Network Optimizer. Well, really it's what it is. It's just optimizing stuff. And these are all the usual accessories in Windows 10. The Media Player, which is now Media Player Legacy. There is actually a new Media Player in Windows 11. And WordPad, which unfortunately is being completely removed from Windows, which has been a staple of the operating system probably since the beginning, I guess. But anyway, what are we here for? We're here to look at the system, but let's go ahead and start up the Network Optimizer and take a look at what it is, see what it's about. And this is running off of an external hard drive too, so that makes it even worse. So, let's see if I can launch WinVerse so we can take a look at the version of Windows 10 that it comes with. And considering that this version is from 2019, I believe this computer does meet the minimum system requirements to run Windows 11. In fact, the latest version of Windows 11 at the time of recording, which is 23H2, as Microsoft will be making 24H2 available later this year. However, considering I'm on the beta channel of the Windows Insider program, I am most likely going to get the feature update a bit earlier. So other than some Acer things, I believe the rest of them are just typical Windows 10 stuff. This is Photos, which is now called Photos Legacy, as there is a new Photos app in Windows 11 that was also rolled out to Windows 10. And there's Snip and Sketch, which is actually now being moved back to Snipping Tool. And then we have the PowerShell and the command prompt, which is actually now merged as Windows Terminal. There's the accessibility, the magnifier, the narrator. I wonder if the narrator on Windows 10 is translated in Polish, just like we saw with Windows XP. I don't think we tried it with Windows 7. And this version of Windows 10 is version 20H2 from late 2020, 19042.631. That is the build number at the time.
Narrator okno dialogowe. OK. Przycisk. Alt O. Uwaga. Zmiany
So it looks like the narrator
narratora.
here is already using its native voice. So
K, 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 K.
yeah, so it's already using its native
Zamykanie
voice.
narratora.
Because in Windows 10, there are native voices for all languages. So, of course, there will be a voice for Polish, there will be a voice for German, there will be a voice for English UK and Canadian French and stuff like that. But anyway, this build here is an out-of-band cumulative update released on November 19th, 2020. Which provides quality improvements. So that's what that is. And this is an Intel machine, so of course there's that graphics panel. And there's the new Edge. And this, I believe, is your phone. And then these are all the system stuff. In Windows 10, Nitro Sense, that's interesting. And these are all the Windows 10 utilities. And take a look at Care Center. Oh yeah, that network optimizer was that program that ran on startup. And of course, it still has the Cortana virtual assistant because it's an older version. And unfortunately, Cortana is being phased out. In fact, Cortana is actually no longer available on Windows 11. It's actually now being replaced by Copilot AI, which is actually kind of starting to become a virtual assistant of its own. So, we go to see Windows Web and we'll see all the images it comes with. So, looks like this photo here is the only wallpaper we get. And then the rest are just regular backgrounds that we see in Windows 10. So these are the pictures of flowers from Windows 8. This is the default Windows 10 wallpaper, and then in here are the remaining default wallpapers in the operating system. So Acer Care Center actually is just like all those, security or computer management accessories that manufacturers include. Like, for instance, there's HP Support Assistant or Dell Support Assist. Those provide the same purposes. Or Lenovo ThinkVantage even. I almost forgot to mention that. But all those perform the same respective tasks. You can free up some storage from temporary files, check for updates for drivers, and even try to bring your system back to the factory state if there's any problem, or create recovery media, or optimize your internet connection, and everything else like that. And then, of course, there's all the system information. This is the home edition of Windows 10. So there's the Nitro wallpaper. Alright, so that's a look at that. And I want to see what this Nitro Sense is. If it's like a separate program, if it even wants to start. But while we wait for that, well, you pretty much know the rest of Windows 10. You know all the accessories that's included in there, because I'm pretty sure all of us watching have used Windows 10 ever since it first came out. I mean, I actually was not introduced to Windows 10 until Christmas of 2015, when I got that Inspiron 5755 laptop that I showed earlier in the series. In fact, I did not know it came with Windows 10. I was expecting Windows 8. You know, when I opened that thing up and I turned it on for the first time, I did not expect it to come with Windows 10. I expected Windows 8 out of it, but that was only when I then knew. And then, of course, as I had it for like 5 years, it actually got up to this version, 20H2. And then after that, that was it. Then that was when I got a brand new computer, and I actually let that run on the 2 editions of Windows 10 after that, specifically 20H2 and then 21H1, then 21H2. And then, of course, I updated that along with my old desktop computer to Windows 11, as both did not pull up the 22H2 feature update for Windows 10. As of now, my Dell Vostro and ThinkPad are both doing just fine on Windows 10, as very, very soon Windows 10 will be losing support, meaning no more security updates. And that's going to be a big problem for all those millions of computers out there. Especially for old ones like those two that can't even run Windows 11. But then again. So, that's basically a look at this machine here. So the rest are just the typical stuff. The Groove Music, the Movies and TV, calendar, the Windows 10 calculator, the old calculator, as this hasn't gotten any app updates. And then, of course, there's your Solitaire collection, Mahjong, and yeah, there's going to be all this Candy Crush stuff. And all the stuff that the OS likes to install without your consent. That's why many people criticized Windows 10 for lack of privacy. And then there's the news thing, which is actually merged into an entire widget now. And then there's Microsoft To Do, and yeah, that's really everything for this machine, that is. So I'm still setting up the other Nitro, and once that is all set, then we will move on to that one. So here we go with the Acer Nitro 5. So what I actually did was I created a AOMEI bootable CD. And yes, I created this on the latest version of Windows 11. So yeah, this is AOMEI Backupper running from a bootable disk. So we're going to go to Restore. And I have an image file on a flash drive, so I'm going to connect that drive to the virtual machine. And we'll choose the image. So my flash drive is showing up as a C drive for some reason. And here is our image. So we'll open that up. And this is going to restore a FAT32 recovery partition. So we're going to restore the entire thing. And we have to select it and then click next. And this is the destination. And this is the summary. And we will click start. Alright. And now, because we are using another piece of software to restore the system, and then it's going to go through the recovery disk, it's going to take much longer than that other one. So we'll just let that go, and then we will see what it's like when this is all done. Okay, so while the recovery partition did restore, however, now it doesn't look like there's an option to actually restore the system. But let's take a look. You can see literally in the X drive, this is everything right here. See? There's the program files, there's the x86. So look, the entire operating system was actually already installed. However, the C drive is actually a separate recovery partition, which I find weird. See, this C drive is the recovery partition, and this is the USB that I use to make that boot image. And then here's the AOMEI disk. But look, this boot X file here, this is the entire Windows installation. So yeah, I'd say the Nitro 5 was a fail, because there was no other way we could have created a, actual working installation from this non-functional recovery disk. So, in that case then, that is going to wrap things up here. So the Nitro 7 was the only successful thing. So, I've still got some more Acers to show you all, and we'll take a look at another one next time. But until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.